Yes.
What a show off.
What a man. This is like the Monsters of Rock concert, you know. Where,
we do it heavy on IoT Coffee Talk, right?
Yeah.
He's practicing
to wake my ass up.
Practicing for Mobile World Congress practice right there.
That's right. That's right. That's what it is. David, I'm loving that shirt.
Yeah.
Yes. It's still obvious what it is.
It is obvious. What's it accomplishing here? What is the
what's the statement you're trying to make, man?
Oh no, this is like the t-shirt that was on the floor this morning. There's a statement, and I put it on. I'm sure I know whoever designed it, but I can't, and I thank this person for hooking me up with a t-shirt, but no, it's just a t-shirt.
It's just a t-shirt. I think it's more than a t-shirt.
Yeah, I think it's a political statement.
I think it's some kind of, it's like you marketing people are behind this t-shirt. I think you're saying, hey, the swoosh, you don't need to see the letters through the word anymore.
That is true.
Is that like when Starbucks just went with the freaky mermaid and got rid of the word Starbucks?
Yeah, just like that. or when Prince changed his name to a symbol.
Yeah. There you go. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
we still knew.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So I love it.
Funny.
Love it.
And anyway, IoT companies do this too. They change the name, don't change the offering. They change the name, give you things like single pane of glass, and you just eat it up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Started.
Marketing.
I wonder how many IoT companies have changed their names or changed their positioning or their marketing spiel as they were flailing around trying to get business.
Yeah.
I don't think, I think from a branding perspective, not too many do that, because I think it would just be detrimental. Whether they got name recognition in the first place or not, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But I just think what happens is in those interactions with a would-be customer, prospect, whatever, they just use a larger share of the word soup to try to, get things going that don't mean anything but sound great. The hype happens live in most of these interactions, not so much in written form that could be taken down by folks that actually know what's happening.
I think you just hit on the key word, hype. I think the next IoT company should just be called Hype or IoT Hype.
Yeah.
Speaking of hype, look who showed up.
Oh.
The hype himself.
What's up? Representing California.
Long Beach, baby.
I love it.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up, man? It's been a minute. Things have been going crazy. You guys are all over the map. It's just, it's pandemonium. I love it.
It's pandemonium, man.
Absolutely.
Insanity. Yeah. So, what's new other than friggin' the T-Mobile SpaceX thing? And
yeah,
I already know what Bill is thinking.
Yeah.
What else? Oh yeah, they scrubbed Artemis, so there's got to be, Rob. There's got to be some kind of IoT story there.
Now, I don't.
Right?
I
mean, we're going back to the moon, baby.
Well, it's funny. We actually are, so that's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. But never did I think I would be here saying, "Well, we did that first," but whatever. All these satellite partnerships.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are you going back to the T-Mobile thing? The T-Mobile.
All right, go ahead and tell us what you're thinking about.
Well,
about Verizon.
Yeah.
Well, that around, and that kiss was not for you, Rob. That was for children. Just making it clear. I mean, like, I got public love for you, but this sign of affection was for one of the kids. Anyway,
okay.
I thought it was a lot of what a difference in what we heard from the T-Mobile side of what this partnership means, what it's supposed to do, etc., versus what the man himself, Mr. Tesla, said. And it was wait a minute, they're doing this thing together, but they sound so different. And it was quite eye-opening. And if we start talking about hype, I thought Elon just said, "Look, this is what it is. This is what it isn't," and then moved on to the next topic.
Yeah.
But our friends, in Bellevue, I don't know, we're a little bit more excited about all the things.
That magenta hype.
Yes. So
but predominantly because they're not the ones that have to do much of the work.
Yeah.
Bill, I know, but you know what? Why didn't we hear from a device OEM? Because we're gonna need devices to connect to the thing in the sky. And I mean, or is it magic? Or did my phone, via a over-the-air software upgrade, will all of a sudden become compatible with a line-of-sight technology?
None of the above.
None of the above.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever own a little tiny Ericsson sat phone in the late 90s?
Oh no, I've used it, but it wasn't mine.
I used it. I didn't own it. I used it. It was like if you were going to go on an expedition to Alaska or something, or whatever.
My ex-wife used to work for Global Star, so I had one of those.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was it was wild. I mean, I swear I'm firmly convinced that those phones were literally stealing brain cells.
Oh yeah.
That's what you blamed it on? Those phones?
Stealing brain cells. They're powered by your brain cells.
No, but hold on. Look,
Matrix.
We do not tend to get personal here at IoT Coffee Talk. But Bill, is she your ex-wife because of the brain cell stealing or because of the stock price of Global Star? What is it?
You know what? The stock price is what broke the deal. That did it right there.
Oh man!
How many times did Iridium go bankrupt?
No,
17.
Kind of like the airlines.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm so glad you brought that up, though. Mike Sievert and Elon sitting there. I mean, we're talking about hype. Sometimes I think this whole coffee talk could be renamed the hype machine, because I think that is so much what is all about marketing. And you know what? I have to give that young upstart T-Mobile props if they do nothing else, they keep that hype machine going. And so setting the stage, sitting there down in Boca Chica, Texas, in front of starships, absolutely. Mike Sievert's like, oh yeah, I'm sitting here with Elon and there's rockets, and the image that people are going to see is, oh my God, T-Mobile is so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway.
Right. And you saw articles afterwards making it look like this was broadband. And it's like, no, did you listen?
David,
did you
to the details?
David, there's a lesson here.
How much bandwidth is being allocated? It's that much.
There's a lesson here. Silent partnerships, doing things behind the scenes to say we already did it in this hype world that we live in is probably not good enough anymore.
No, I don't.
You have to do something splashy and crazy. We've got Starship. In fact, it would have been great if it was launching and going sideways while they're talking. Or maybe
yeah. We need to destroy the lunar base once again.
Ideally, that's what analysts are for, right? They go, they listen to this stuff, they put it in the proper context, they pressure test what's being presented conceptually, technically, and then you lay it out like it is, right? I mean,
that's some analysts.
What you should do. That's why I said that's what analysts should do. A lot of them don't.
So analysts are here to destroy the lunar base.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. So the one thing that Mike was very frank about is this is a technical partnership. And to Bill's point, how much of the heavy lifting T-Mobile is going to do other than lend like a sliver of their, 1.9 gigahertz PCS spectrum. Beyond that, what they're going to do is, I mean, maybe they're going to do some interesting stuff on the messaging side, right? The messaging app side, but the thing is that this is so early, and whether or not they can even pull it off, because I mean, Elon's got to build a whole new satellite constellation, not just a new satellite, and because this thing is going to be out 500 miles, not 340, which is what the current Starlink constellation is situated, that orbit is situated. So the cool thing, the thing that I thought was really interesting is this potential for a multi-layer constellation, multi-purpose constellation, which could be really interesting. But technically interesting, commercial viability is an entirely different question. So, doing fun shit in space, it makes for a great marketing story, hype and buzz for a moment. But whether or not this pans out,
Well, but look, let's sprinkle two positive things here. The bit that for this technical partnership, there will be, ancient PCS spectrum being used. I mean, it's 2022, and we're talking about Sprint. All right,
PCS,
okay.
Yeah.
So, right,
yeah.
Talk about the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
And another one is, and I think all of us with our families and probably 75% of our 850 million listeners, we go to national parks. So I like the idea that one of these days there will be a messaging app or some sort of emergency thing that if you need coverage in the middle of Yosemite or whatever your favorite national park is, that you're able to use a service that's not dependent on a terrestrial network. And I think that could be, again, just benefits to an end user when there's a grizzly bear chasing you.
Yeah. Dude, come on, man.
Yeah, you're right.
I drove from San Diego all the way up to Fairbanks, Alaska mostly by myself. Okay. I'll tell you, the reason why I go into the wilderness and national parks is to not be connected.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be the devil's advocate for the moment, but it's actually nice not being able to get connected. Now, there's always a risk that you might be attacked by a bear, but that would be an outcome of just being stupid.
Well, first of all,
you should not get into a situation where you get attacked by a bear.
Well,
and it's kind of hard to be attacked by a bear.
Depending on the reasoning for your visit to said national park, if you get eaten by a grizzly, at least the obituary would say, and I quote, "But he died doing what he loved." Okay, so let's just start there, all right? And Leonard, I'm with you. Look, it's an edge case. It's just, again, there's no terrestrial coverage. You happen to have an emergency. Now you will have a choice soon.
Right. It's like insurance. It's nice to have. Nobody wants to pay for it, but it's nice to have. Right.
Yeah, it's insurance. That's right.
I mean, I don't know. I guess okay. But there are real issues right now, right? There's food shortages. Yeah. Farmers are like having hellified challenges just keeping up with demand.
Yeah.
And
keeping the livestock alive, man.
Yeah, right. I mean, and over here in Texas, they're talking about taking them away. They're gonna get rid of the cows because of their fart machines.
Yeah.
Well, so they're like, you're damaging.
Is that like Sex Machine?
Yeah. Except in a bad way. I mean, so they're talking. They're literally talking about this, right? And okay, well, we're going to launch satellites. Okay, can you help somebody?
Yeah, let's not get into the whole capitalistic society that we live in, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And number two, no, listen, if you are behind the getting rid of the fart machine, I expect to see you at the front of the picket line at Taco Bell's nationwide.
There you go. Okay? There you go.
We're going to talk about fart machines.
Oh, but I thought you were talking about using meat.
we can get rid of those anyway because
I'm not sure what that paste is that they've made at Taco Bell to put in the tacos there. That's actually, but you're right. Obviously, I'm certainly plugged in with Texas, and my mom. We have cattle on our ranch, and yes, people are selling their cattle to get them slaughtered because of the drought and the heat, and it's tough. And it's like, I don't want my cows to die, so I'm going to sell them while they're still alive. So it's all bad. It's so interesting though that you bring that up. Just the notion of we're worried about satellites and we got people starving in the streets, and I get that whole deal. Does anyone remember? Did you ever watch? I don't know if it was The Right Stuff or it was Earth to the Moon or whatever those deals. But during the whole Apollo thing, I think it was Senator Mondale was the one who was really vocal the whole time. We got homeless people. We got people starving in the streets, and you're worried about going to the moon. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be that thing, isn't there? There's always going to be, you shouldn't be doing this seemingly awesome but crazy or whatever thing as long as we have this horrible thing going on. And I totally get this sentiment. I also am jaded. After all these years, it feels like that awful thing never seems to go away. Yeah. And if we never do anything new or advanced for humanity while we're waiting on the bad stuff to go away, we'll probably never do anything. I don't know. Yeah. That sounds pretty awful, but there.
No, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of, honestly, we need to rally behind something to drive big innovation and invention. Doing something huge like we did. Think about all the technologies that came out of the NASA program during the 50s, 60s, 70s. We're benefiting from all of that investment today. So to think that whatever $90 billion to get the first part of the program, the Artemis program, we're off the ground. It pays off in spades later on, and I think that's something that we cannot ignore as we talk about whether or not and talk about and debate whether or not things like the Artemis program are important or not. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't think it's important, China's going to do something. India's going to do something.
Bill's got his Venice Beach hat there, and he's like, as long as we still have tents set up along that pathway where people roller skate in Venice Beach, we're not going to the moon, damn it.
That's right. Clean area so I can skateboard, please.
Please.
Well, Bill, then I know that that the intersection where Santa Monica ends and Venice Beach begins, there's again there's such a contrast If I look south towards Redondo, there's one story because I got to go through Venice versus looking the other way towards the Pacific Palisades. And why is it that there's only these problems on the Venice side? And if you ask any locals, they're going to tell you that is local city council and the money that's available on one side of this invisible border versus the other. And I will tie that to your Leonard's and Rob's comments about all the benefits that we get from the space programs, like treadmills and memory foam. Thank you, NASA.
Memory foam.
But look, memory foam. That's one of the things we got out of it. I Googled that just now. I knew the treadmill. But the reason why politicians and regular folks will continue hammering why are we doing that instead of doing this, you can tie it to the fact that the ones that are going to financially benefit from the innovation and the new things are a handful of people in a handful of industries.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, just today, I've made zero from memory foam. How about you guys?
Yeah. But
I helped it out by buying it
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we got Tang. We got Tang.
Yeah, we got Tang.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Not good for you.
Tang's still around. Delicious. Even that was like a thing from way back.
Oh my god! Yeah.
I used to think I was a redhead, and then my mom's like, "No, man, it's the Tang.
It's the Tang."
Well, Marc, did you guys drink Tang in Europe back in the day?
You mean 40 years ago? I think
4 years ago.
that was a thing. I'm not sure if it exists.
Maybe 40 years ago. Yeah.
40 years ago, or 4 years. 4 years ago, Tang was a thing in Europe.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Like
30,
4.
40. Yeah.
Oh, 40. Okay.
40.
Yeah. No, that because you're right. That was their advertising campaign. Back to our new title for our program, The Hype Machine. Tang was writing the space hype, just like Mike Sievert's writing the space hype with SpaceX. Yeah. So, boom. There you go.
I think 39 and a half years ago, someone in Spain picked up a can of Tang and just read what was inside and went like, "Ay, no, aquí no se puede, esto va a matar a toda la gente," which is basically it's going to kill people. And then it banned it.
It got banned. Yeah, absolutely.
The struggle is real.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Marc, before you showed up, we were talking about the T-Mobile SpaceX announcement and what's real, what's not real, regarding who's going to benefit from low Earth satellites and all that stuff, and how we're many years from anything happening. And as Bill showed up, I questioned no one's talking about the devices that are going to support this in the first place. So anyway, that's what you walked into.
No, that's actually it's really interesting now, because there are a lot of so actually this is an interesting discussion, this satellite IoT connectivity, right? And we have Luke here, but we never got him right on the IoT Coffee Talk, but there is like 90% of the planet doesn't have connectivity at all.
Right.
But maybe there is no business, right? to connect those devices.
Yeah. So so Luke had a recorded presentation. I actually caught it the other day, and there was I'm going to paraphrase him, but in his view, he thought that most of the need on IoT is for uplink. No, sorry, it's for downlink, not uplink, which many people were didn't exactly agree with. And in the bit of the business case, we how long have we been talking about tracking containers through the oceans? And how many times have people that are in the industry telling you, "Hey, pal, have you ever seen a container ship and see how deep in feet of metal this thing is? Like nothing's ever coming out. And if it did, why would you bother when you have the bill of lading information that's public, and you can track the ship, which is public?
Right.
So there's a lot of these things. Again, no. But look, guys, it's funny because it's not that it was a bad idea. It's just that the person that came up with the idea had never been in the bloody business. So they just don't know. It's like, oh, it'd be a good idea to track containers.
Yeah, it's a technological idea. And then, of someone who says, this is technologically feasible. Well, no, we can discuss about that. But it doesn't have any knowledge about the whole system.
There are more practical ways to track. I mean, I think it's this obsession with real-time persistent tracking. But the thing is that there's diminishing returns in value pursuing that for most things.
You know what?
Reality, right?
I found the most practical, economical way to track a container ship is with a Los Angeles class submarine.
Great.
One ping.
Really?
Just one ping.
Well, and zero battery issues. Talk about battery life.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why do you think they're called electric boats?
Yeah.
A nuclear reactor charges batteries.
And
makes electricity.
There you go. I mean, that's definitely.
No, but for example, I was on a project. It was not real time. It was like every X hours. But we can call that real time. For tracking specific shipments that cost like millions of dollars. And that shipments were going by train or by car or by truck. And they wanted to know if they were going towards the destination because they could send the invoice to the company, to the customer once the material was there. And that was millions of dollars. So they wanted to know because the usual strategy was like, okay, let's after 1 week that we have shipped the millions of dollars to that customer. I'm as a business developer or business or account manager for that customer. I'm going to call them. Hey, did you receive the shipment? No, we haven't received that. Okay. I'm going to call in 3 days. No, put in the calendar, and that was not the system. Just call the customers. They had thousands of customers in the same situation. So they had thousands of millions of dollars floating in the space. They didn't know where it was.
Yeah.
And then they test the real time. So they test to put a tracker on each shipment, and they could know when everything was going towards when everything was received, and the customer was saying, no, we didn't receive the shipment. So they could send the invoice faster because they knew that the shipment was received.
You know,
and on the other hand, they were seeing, and I saw it in real time. When that was happening, a train that had to go to one direction, going actually to another direction because they put the wagon of the shipment in the non-correct train. So that was a very big company, and there was a big fight. I was on the emails list between the logistics and the business teams.
Yeah.
Because ones were telling to the others, hey guys, we cannot send the invoice to this customer because you are idiots and you're putting this wagon towards the wrong direction and blah, blah, blah. Things like this can help, but I don't know.
Well, but that one is also commercially interesting because, you have some supplier-buyer relationships where it's like net 30, net 90. But in this case, it sounds like upon delivery. So as a business owner, there's a cash flow efficiency by me knowing immediately when you got that stuff. So that makes a ton of sense there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the other aspect of what you're talking about, where that kind of tracking can be helpful, is resolving the multimodal visibility issue, right? That is the big thing. So when you go from, let's say, train to sea carrier to trucking, whatever, going from those handoffs are really, really tricky, and you only have certain silos that are managed or controlled by the likes of FedEx and these shippers that have their own network where you have visibility when it comes into their mode or their portfolio, but going out you really don't know what's happening. And oftentimes when something gets shipped, you're using different carriers, and you're also using different modes of transport through that delivery or that shipment. So yeah, it gets pretty complicated, but there's challenges both ways, I think. Dealing with all the dirty laundry that is endemic to the current system, and then dealing with the infrastructure issues, the deficiencies, and the technical challenges on the other end, right? Where you're trying to kind of do this over the top type of solution to basically get past all the dirty laundry that makes global visibility, supply chain visibility, a real challenge.
But and this SpaceX T-Mobile thing, it's as well for humans, or only for connectivity, or both?
No, the way they announced it, it's just for smartphones. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill's messed up.
Bill is just on the show to laugh and shake his head and say, "Man, that is asinine."
I think we should do it.
I mean, you said when you replay this and you hear it, and you say it's just for handsets, it's going to be like,
what?
We're launching these multi-million-dollar devices in the air.
Yeah.
By the way, your phone will work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. For niche purposes. And
what we need to do to rescue the whole IoT world is we need to launch our own new service called freeconnection.com. And we have free satellites, free LoRa, free cellular, free everything. And the way that we make money is people are going to watch videos and click on stuff on their laptops.
That's the monetization model right there.
That's it, there. That's it. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. That.
But Leonard, back to your comment of the supply chain bit. So it is IoT-ish, and here's a place that we are seeing innovation happen. And I'm not talking about the blockchain stuff from Trailens and IBM. I'm talking on the ground. So again, things we know. We can track a ship because that's public info. We can get bills of lading if you have the right access, because you should be in the know. So I know what's in that ship and in those containers.
Yeah.
The tricky part is, to Leonard's point, intermodal. What happens when the ship docks? I have a crane that grabs a container. The container might go in an autonomous rig or in a on a human powered trailer. Then it goes over for staging, or it's a reefer, or goes to the yard. Then it goes from the yard to the gate, and now it's out in the public highway system. So you have a few companies that basically what they're doing is that they're deploying machine vision nodes, because we can identify the container through the labels.
Right.
But the magic here is that all of these disparate systems, from the port to the shippers, to exporters, to the warehouses, they are subscribing to basically an API call. Because if I'm the OEM, Leonard is you own the ship, Rob owns the container, Bill owns the trailer, and Mark is the end customer. We want to know things at a different time.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this is super cool how it's being done. It's device centric. Lots of security issues, to be able to stand up infrastructure at a port, because that's, I don't know in Europe, but here falls under, national security, to be able to, put anything there. So lots of cool things happening in that space.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
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 Now, if we can only get our chips. Chips on ships.
Chips on ships.
Chips on ships. I like that.
Ass.
I like that. So are you saying that
smart ass?
They don't want nukes coming into Long Beach in a container?
No. we don't want that.
Even if they're carrying chips?
Well, I don't know. The nukes need chips. But Rob, you know that your friends in the DoD, they've been using. I mean, this is the stuff that you don't see in the hype magazines. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like advanced waterborne drones and the tech is to look at what's in the ships, like from the whole ground. Like these things are in the water, looking at I don't know, using LiDAR or some sort of metal penetrating radar, just to see if these look like containers with things that look like, match the bill of lading, or something else that Bill is shipping from down south.
I remember in Mexico when I was going by bus to Chiapas. Actually, we went through two checks from the Mexican army, and they were doing Ray X to the full bus. So they had like a big, I don't know how to call that, and the bus was going. So they were checking if inside the bus we had weapons or something for the army from Chiapas, from the revolutionary communist army there. Yeah. And they were doing just X-rays to the bus.
But before that, did they give you guys tinfoil to protect?
Nothing. Just fuck the tourists.
Oh my god! Oh god! Well, good thing. Hopefully, almost everyone had children at that point.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't shorten anyone's lifespan by doing that, because they probably don't even know what they're doing, or they don't care.
Yeah. Wait, what? It's volume 11, right? Crank it up. Free MRIs, people. Let's roll.
Oh my god, free MRIs.
It's like the new airport scans, right?
Wow.
Oh man,
yeah, lots of love there. Wow.
Another. They didn't reference IoT, but so we have insurance companies that have been servicing the great state of Florida, walking out, and people are getting notices that basically say, "Hey, 30 days from now, we are no longer going to insure you." And a lot of these things have to do with all the data and all the data models are available regarding the climate situation, whichever way you want to take that. And it's here in the IoT world, this is stuff that we've been talking about for eons, right? Not only weather data, but like on the ground, like localized smart city stuff like Bill works on data. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they're using, again, these super localized data sets to make those decisions. And it seems that to some of these companies, it is cheaper to just shut down and stop insuring areas that, and of course they're doing it, like a month before hurricane season arrives. But it's that's creating a lot of pain down there because, again, I don't know, Mark, for you guys in Europe, but here in the US, we cannot have a mortgage if we don't have insurance on our house.
Yeah.
It's a requirement. So it's, sticky spot. And, but again, a business using data to, effectively make a business decision. So I thought it was topical for us here.
It is topical, like a topical ointment.
Just like that. Just like that. What is the spelling different? Topic. Yes, the spell. Yeah, no. Topic. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Data for help feed actuarial tables for insurance companies where they go, "Hey, I just came out with this piece of paper and it tells me we shouldn't insure Florida anymore. Let's get out." I ran the numbers. In fact, it's easier for us to shut down, lose our property for our offices. The money is so out of whack. Yeah, let's get out.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of that is based on historical data, right? Think about your auto insurance. I mean, a lot of the way that they calculate the premiums and stuff is based on how many miles you drove last year versus, this year. Do you know what I'm saying? And so
there's another thing.
I think just certain things are obvious. You know, like in California, certain areas just go up in flames are going to go up in flames every year.
You want me to show you? I can just step out and show you.
Oh, really? Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And eventually you don't need any of the data or anything. You just, like you just said, you can walk outside and see like half of the state on fire.
Well, Leonard,
I mean, but I mean, I don't think you can't blame data and people becoming aware through data and having the data maybe state the obvious. The climate change issue, I think, is a bigger issue. And
you know, this is
blame
why
that, not data, and what.
This is why IoT doesn't sell, because some people are there to tell me that it's obvious. I've got data to sell to you, pal. Okay, it's not obvious. Do you have this obvious stuff on a dashboard, on a single pane of glass? No, you don't. You need me, okay? I will hand it to you. I will integrate historical data into a SQL database and with C++, Java, and other programs like COBOL that I do not understand.
Oh my God.
A word soup and a statement of work worth millions of dollars. Don't you tell me what is obvious, sir.
It's gotten into him.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh my God.
What type of coffee did you drink this morning?
I
know. He's holding a beer. Wait.
I know.
No. This is a nice. It is coffee, and it's from from our friends.
Our friends at High Bite.
Yes.
Oh my God!
All right.
You're out of control, dude.
Well, one of the most relevant sources of data that insurance for car insurance comes from the police, and it's not old historical. It's up to date, and it has to do with where you live and what's the likelihood that your car is going to get stolen.
Oh yeah,
that drives your car insurance more than any other factor.
But how do you get to the characterization that where you live has a high probability of
the police know,
right?
And the data is there,
right? But
they absolutely know to a pinpoint.
Based on historical data, though,
the police are the original IoT people.
But some of it absolutely has to do with census block data.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I can imagine that one of the most interesting job in the near future will be to fake this data from these sensors and from these databases.
People, fake news.
A tornado went. A tornado went to Miami. No, but just people hacking the sensors. No, it was sunny, no windy, because you just stop. No, with some tape, you just stop the wind speed meter. That's easy, right?
What a horrible user experience. Like literally, my house is in shambles, and my insurance is telling me like, no, dude, it's 72 and not a cloud in the sky, pal.
Fake news.
Click. Yeah. And notice how I age myself by doing click instead of click.
I want to have what he's having.
There you go. I think
David, was it really coffee that you drank in this morning, or
honestly, it's coffee, but I started really early because I have a big deadline. I started
and he still jumped on. That's awesome.
Yes, this is like my break from reality, and I miss you guys. And absolutely,
IoT Coffee Talk is unreality. It's not. Fake news, people.
Yeah.
So
I like this digital
break
twin
from reality. This is good.
No, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
tell us more, David. Tell us more. Don't get ashamed by us.
No.
We're encouraging him.
I just joked because Leonard absolutely poo-pooed with logic on top of my IoT insurance thing based on the real time or historical data. So I just went on a little hype marketing rant there. That's it.
Yeah, I'm all about the doo-doo, man. I'm the doo-doo man. I just like to poop on things.
And you as American, that probably will be one of the first countries that this is going to happen. Would you accept to wear like a fitness band or something like that to reduce your health insurance fee?
Oh no, I think it would be the total opposite, man. I wouldn't want to be tracked because I'm getting more unhealthy sitting on my
Don't
butt
tell
at
me
home all
anything
day.
about that.
Yeah.
Well, but it's not. Look, it's and I do have an absolute dystopian opinion in this, but I will not be convinced that there will ever be a brand or healthcare system that is going to do something for my benefit by tracking me. No way. I've been in some of these meetings. I've been lucky to, to talk to people that have done amazing things, and there's no way that I might be a beneficiary at the beginning, but with health, I will literally pay for that with my life later down the road. So hard pass.
It'll be like Soylent Green. They're going to send you to that factory, and then a little green wafer is going to come out at the end.
Yeah.
Thanks for signing up with our new service.
There you go.
We track your health.
You want to talk about hype machine? That's where it's at. Because you can't watch a show without, we got this whole new thing, Predaxis or whatever it is, and by the way, side effects might be. You get all of these things. It's like, wait a minute, the side effects are worse than the damn symptoms that I had to get it in the first place. No, thank you.
Right. You're so right. All these ads for drugs that last over a minute on TV, and then they need all that time to tell you all the side effects. And most of the time it said may cause sudden death, blah, 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 blah,
But we have to realize that Marc is lucky that in Europe, they don't see ads for drugs. I know it's shocking here, folks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, there's none of that. You're not watching your TV show and a drug gets advertised. Yeah. It's not allowed.
Interesting.
Not allowed. It's not a thing.
Wow.
But you get ads about what?
Everything. Like whatever's wrong with you, we have an ad for, and whatever you don't know that is wrong with you, but will be induced as a side effect, we've got an ad for you too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're right on the heels of that. It's like, if you took this, we got this for you. So it's like you got ad on top of ad.
Let's put it this way. If you watch TV in the United States, you would think that everyone has erectile dysfunction. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's like,
I heard some ad on the radio where it talked about if it's erectile, but it's like angling 30 degrees or something like that. I heard it on the radio. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, we had some it's comical. It's like literally comical.
Oh my God.
And I would say about 40% of the ads are of that nature, right? Something to do with the winky.
So Rob, hold on. Are you telling me that I have an opportunity to sell some of these for people I don't know? I mean,
dude, finally.
Oh my God.
Is it straight or is it not straight? Down. I got something for you.
Put that down.
I think you might need a protractor or something.
Ow. Well, hold on. Look, I've got RFID. I've got LoRaWAN. I've got Sigfox. I've got
45 degree
everything.
I love it. That is awesome, man. That's great stuff.
I think we should call this episode the ridiculous episode.
I'd say. I'd apply.
Actually, it's pretty good stuff. We talked about space. We talked about space-related IoT.
But we haven't talked about the prequel to Game of Thrones that's been on.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought I'd say that.
I dig it. I like it.
Episodes. I like it. I have like a rule that I live by. I don't watch any shows that don't have dragons.
Yeah.
They have to have dragons.
Right. I'm also looking forward to the Amazon Prime's the Rings of Power.
Oh, the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. It looks really good. I mean, incredibly well produced. They took that stuff from the original series, that look and feel, and
You mean the series or the books?
No. The series is based on the Silmarillion, which is It's just a compilation that Christopher Tolkien put together.
Chris.
From his father's scribblings. Yeah. And this is. I'm gonna.
Let's hope it's good.
Sound like a total nerd here, but it's about the second age, not the first, with Morgoth and the Vala and all that stuff.
I've got nothing against your nerdy TV shows, but this year in the US of A, there will be nothing like the national premiere of the midterm elections in November.
Oh, jeez. Don't bring politics in.
No, that was it. That will be reality TV at its finest.
Oh, yeah.
End of comment.
What are you talking about? The primaries were already like freaking disastrous, comical.
But primaries for what?
Jokes, huh? Primaries
for what?
For an election.
Yeah, for an election.
Presidential election?
No, this is just a midterm. It's just Congress, Senate, stuff like that. Other offices.
Yeah. So,
the guys that write RFPs for IoT.
Yeah. I mean, you literally have people. Anyways, let's not talk about it.
So after all these years,
we can edit that out. We can edit my reality TV show.
No, we're going to keep it in there, but we'll stop talking about it just about now.
So after all these years, do we have any advice for our watchers to tell them how to succeed in IoT, or are we still got nothing?
Oh no, we have plenty. All right.
I think it's almost like we have to have a curated show for that one.
Yeah.
And it will be called The Nuggets.
The Nuggets. There you go. Yeah. Maybe that's actually a really good idea. Maybe we can all come up with 3 or 4 key takeaways from 2.5 years of doing this stuff and share it with our audience. That would be kind of cool.
That would be.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Good idea.
So, folks, we're going to do that at some point. But we just want to make it clear, we actually have no program. We're winging it. So if you ever watch our show and wonder why it's just a rambling mess, is because we get on with absolutely no idea what we're going to be talking about. Yeah. So we just kind of
maybe someone is watching connected from T-Mobile through the satellite.
No, it's not going to happen for a while.
It'd be super dope if one of these astronauts comes down from the International Space Station and just tells the world that we kept them entertained, while up there. Like this was their dose of news from the Earth. IoT Coffee Talk.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we were the source of a critical repair on the International Space Station or on the new lunar base? That would be awesome, right? Because think about all the great IoT, NASA, Apollo mission analogies and examples that we've talked about on the show. And I'm sure a lot of that stuff is those are long forgotten secrets, because this new generation of astronauts, they're probably younger than us, right? Most of them. So,
and is people in the US excited by the Artemis 1?
Yeah.
Rocket?
Yeah. We're kind of bummed that they scrubbed it on Monday.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, whether or not they had a good digital twin going on for their simulations. And
but this is NASA, or this is the SpaceX with someone else?
It's NASA.
This is NASA. But you know what? Speaking of SpaceX and NASA, I was watching this YouTube show. It's by this ex-astronaut, and he was interviewing Elon Musk, and he made an interesting comment that in designing the Raptor engine, they blew up something like 30. He blew up like 30 of them to eventually figure out how to make a viable engine. And he kind of used that as an example of what you need to do to innovate quickly, right? Or develop stuff quickly. And he contrasted that with the NASA approach, where they would design, test things primarily with simulation before they put any. They really subjected even a prototype to the risk of just complete destruction, like what Elon did. But and so when I was listening to this, I was going, "Oh wow, okay, so this iterative stuff is good." Then it also dawned upon me that if you can afford it. So there's always this risk of iteration and going, and someone like Elon can afford to do that. Government programs, they have a much higher risk tolerance, risk aversity. And so it impacts the way that they innovate. And where, Elon seems to, when he puts anything on the launch pad, it seems to work. Have we seen too many SpaceX launchers explode? I mean, there's a couple.
Yeah, we have. Lots of
at the beginning, right?
No, not test rockets. He doesn't. He blows a lot of stuff up.
Are you saying that the NASA way of doing things is waterfall, and the SpaceX way of doing things is agile?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
Iterative.
Well, it is. Agile is iterative. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right, there it is, folks. Boom.
Yeah, but if you can afford it.
Why waterfall is cheaper than agile?
It's because, so if you think of it, NASA is doing the Big Bang Theory, which is waterfall. And basically, you don't know until the very end if it's going to work.
Launchpad.
Whereas SpaceX is iterating, blowing up rockets over and over again until they get it perfect, or iterating.
Yeah.
And so all those times when you saw like Starship going up and then going sideways and then it's crashing too fast, and it's a failure. And he goes, no, it's not. I was only testing this thing up here. I don't really care what happened after that.
Yeah.
Elon is totally following this iterative, agile software way of doing hardware. And to your point, it's because he can afford to have things blow up over and over again. What really sucks is if you do waterfall like NASA is doing, and what if it blows up on the pad on Friday after years and years, but not really knowing for sure? It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. But as much as it's an interesting observation about agile versus, let's say, a more waterfallish kind of approach, it's that element of, can you afford it? And so to make the recommendation, so here's the problem. Recommending everyone go and take an agile approach, blow shit up, is not, it should be a cautious, mindful recommendation. It always boils down to, can you afford to blow a ton of stuff up, And that actually came out of Elon's mouth. He says, well, we can kind of afford, we can afford to do this. Not everyone can afford to do that, especially on shoestring budgets and stuff like that. So something to think about. I mean, you have to really make a calculated decision whether or not you take an agile approach or you get stuck with something a little bit more waterfallish, but you're probably going to land somewhere in the middle. But I thought that was really interesting. Anyways.
So I'm just, so according to Wikipedia, the going cost of Artemis is $35 billion.
Yeah.
From starting in 2020. And I'm trying to, do we know how much, like, how do we do the math with space?
Single use launcher. It's a single use platform.
It's super expensive, right?
Well, this is an equity comment, but it looks in this year, SpaceX specific had $2 billion. That's a far cry from 35.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, just that alone, and let program managers fight over agile and waterfall and other things. But holy cow! I mean, so what SpaceX is doing with, again, based on what I'm reading, like $2 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, what if they can do 10x more? Right? Crazy.
There's a message there. When I went to do the tour, when I went to Kennedy Space Center this summer for the tour, and it was just Artemis, Artemis, Artemis everywhere. Don't worry about that Falcon 9 rocket taking off over there. That's not really important. Don't worry about this giant Blue Origin factory that you drive by when you drive into the Space Center. Never mind that stuff. Don't worry about these other guys that are eating our lunch on a daily basis. It's all about NASA and Artemis. It is, a lot of people wouldn't get it, but other people would go, guys, there's some kind of reality distortion field here.
Yeah.
These 2 billionaires are way ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not really, because it only goes towards a specific distance, right? The SpaceX rockets. So this Artemis 1, it's going to go very far away, and we'll come back, right?
That is true. Starship,
this is state of the art, right?
Starship will go far once it works.
Once it works. Once they stop blowing them up.
Starship will go to Mars.
Yeah.
But you're right. They got to get it working right. Get all those Raptor engines that are all clustered together.
Yeah, to your point, Rob, there's a lot of stuff that you can learn, but there's a lot of gray areas that you have to work through when you take the lessons and you actually apply them to your own business, I guess, is really...
Sounds to me like they need a public-private partnership with Tesla or Elon and company.
Yeah. SpaceX is... they built and designed, I think, the lander, right? Or they are building and designing the lander. So, and I read somewhere that they're going to actually land a Starship on the moon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But,
50s sci-fi movies.
Yeah. But the thing they're concerned about is because the Starship is so big, they're afraid that as the Starship approaches the surface, it's going to blow a gigantic hole on the surface, and the lander will capsize because of the hole it dug for itself. So they're working through stuff.
They better come up with a way to make sure that the ground is leveled.
Yeah.
This guy. Okay, on that note, hey, David, you got to take us out, man. You got to let off some of that energy.
Yeah, drink some Kool-Aid with tongue.
He's a smart ass too.
Yeah. Marc is my hero, if anyone asks. But folks,
no, let me disagree with that.
Once again, you have made it to the end of another IoT Coffee Talk. Thank you so much for spending time with us and being one of our 2.3 billion subscribers. We're getting there. So if it's your first time joining, thank you for hanging out. This is how it happens. We give it to you straight. We give it to you very real. And if you're a seasoned follower, well, thank you for keeping up with us. So IoTCoffeeTalk.com. Find us on YouTube. Using your favorite browser with or without privacy. That's up to you. And we look forward to seeing you here next week, where we will discuss more IoT topics ranging from space to insurance to real-time data versus data that is obvious and you can stick your head out the window and realize. So with that, stay safe, be well, and we're out of coffee, so we got to go. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.
Keep it straight.